This Islamic secret has made me millions of dollars, and I've thought about all the Islamic principles that have helped me, and it always comes back to this one thing. If you implement it, and it's not easy to implement, it's incredibly difficult to implement this, and it's always a constant work in progress as well. Okay, there's gonna be certain times in your life where you implement this, the most difficult times in your life you implement this principle. But when you do, amazing things happen. This has helped me with making money. This has helped me with keeping the money. This has helped me with my brand growth. This has helped me when I communicate with people, when I communicate with partners. In fact, I've had partners that didn't like me tell me, you know, Abdul, you're one of the most fairest, or you're the most level-headed people I've ever dealt with in my life. So what is this one thing that holds me accountable and helps me even attract talent, makes business less stressful? Because trust me, the more money you make, the more stressful it gets. And it also prevents me from getting into the trappings of wealth. Because let's face it, Islam has warned us multiple times that, you know, Allah tests us with our wealth and children, over and over again. These are a means of testing us in this life. So I wanted to share this, whether you're Muslim or not, this is one of the most powerful principles that has changed my life in all aspects, and more importantly, wealth. And even more like closely wealth, because when you're generating wealth, you're getting other people's money. And if you're making a lot of wealth, you are also paying for other people. You're a leader. So this one principle, just without it, it can destroy your life. But if you have it, everything becomes so much easier. So that one principle is right here. Ikhlas, sincerity. So how does it help me getting the money? Well, when you are honest on a call with a client or a sales call, or when you are honest with your branding, when you are putting up a sales page and you're making sure that you can deliver on your promises, then it creates longevity in your business. It also, even when you're making outlandish claims, or what seems like outlandish claims, you have to really ask yourself, can I deliver on these promises? If you don't have sincerity, there's copywriters that have made such outlandish claims and they have nothing to back it up, and they might make $10 million, but guess what happens? 95% of people refunded right after. So I talked about this in another video. You're most qualified to help the people that you used to be. So for me, I knew when I made my first $1 million, I did it by buying a $3,000 program. And that program, I implemented it. 95% of people did not take action, didn't get those results. But I made millions of dollars because of that training. And then in the future, I've been involved in programs where I've taught people how to make money from digital marketing. I could do that confidently because I was sincere in my course content that, hey, if you do these things, you will have results. If you don't do these things, you won't have results. The process works if you work it. So you have to have sincerity to have any sort of longevity in your business. Otherwise, you're going to have refunds, chargebacks. You're going to go out of business before you even started. When you're on sales calls, when you're talking with clients and you tell them straight up, hey, listen, this is what has happened. This is something I do with my partners all the time. Before I partner up with them, and if they pay me 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, plus a percentage of profit, before I even start working with them, I tell them, hey, listen, if I don't feel like we have a 70% probability of success, I'm not going to work with you. If you haven't delivered results for people in the past, selling what you're selling, and this hasn't worked out, I'm not going to work with you on that. And a lot of times when you tell your clients that, hey, listen, it doesn't make sense for us to work together if I don't think this is going to sell, they really appreciate that. They're like, hey, I've worked with agencies in the past, and these agencies in the past promised me the moon, and you're the first one that's telling me that, hey, things might not work. In fact, you're not telling me 100% success. You're telling me, hey, things are looking good. If we have an 80% chance of success, like, I trust you more because you told me we have a 20% chance of failure. So this is sincerity. It creates your long-term brand. It creates your company's long-term brand. It helps me attract talent and keep talent. When I get an A player or B player or C player, doesn't matter. I'm sincere with them. I tell them, hey, this is exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, to the point. I'm not playing. My life is simpler when I don't play games with people. And there's been times in my life that I've had contractors and I didn't have enough money to pay them. And I told them, hey, listen, I won't be able to pay you right now. I'll be able to pay you later on. And things are getting better. So bear with me a little bit. And people appreciate the honesty. It helps me with keeping a talent, because when I'm not paying people enough and they're very expensive. So for example, if I know someone's worth 20 grand a month, 20 grand a month is a lot of money to pay one person. You know, we have over 100 people on our team. When I cannot pay them their market value, I let them know. I was like, hey, listen, I can't pay 20, I'll pay you 10K and I'll pay you a bonus when things work out. They appreciate that. Or for people that have been on my team for a very long time, plus 2 years, then I say, hey, listen, equity's on the table. You know, I know you've been underpaid over here. You stuck around. I'm going to give you some equity in the business. Sincerity. You can't let greed get you. You have to be honest to them, because they're trading their life for money, right? They're trading their time, right? Your time is your life. So next one, self-accountability. If I cannot keep a promise to myself, how can I keep promise with others? So it always goes back to ikhlas. Attracting a talent, stress management, understanding, not falling in love with money too much. You have to understand that there's going to be ups and downs in business. There's very wealthy people that have cash flow issues as well, that have upflows and downflows in cash flow. Instead of making 5 million a year, maybe they're making a 1 million a year, but then they have all these obligations, so they're breaking even. When you have sincerity to understand, hey, you know what, there's going to be ups and downs. I'm not some magician that can just solve anything and everything. There's going to be tests from the creator, right? So you have to be sincere that at the end of the day, you're just a human being and everything comes from Allah. And for me, you know, whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim watching this, that just makes so much easier. This is why I was able to have like so much success. I was just able to handle so much more. I didn't get burnt out because I realized this is just a game at the end of the day. You know, you could be making a lot of money, but don't just fall in total and complete love with the money. Money is a tool to serve people, to give in charity, to help out people in your life. I want to be a means of helping people out. So that's my belief. I don't want to be the guy who misuses money so that down the road, I'm not the guy who can be a conduit to help out that guy in Pakistan, to help out that girl in, you know, South America who needs another $100, $200. So I want to be the responsible means. I know if I'm making money, I have to put a portion towards charity and help people out. And also when you're making a lot of money, not getting into the trappings of wealth, not going into like, you know, just blowing it all up, partying and this and that. It actually hurts your company. It actually hurts your personal brand as well as your company brand as well if you just do that excessively. But just being disciplined just helps so much. Look at the fighters from Dagestan. Look at the rest of the UFC fighters. How much more dominant are the Dagestan fighters because they are sincere in their religion and they're sincere with their value and they're sincere with their art, that, you know what, I'm going to be excellent in the art of fighting. And they crush, right? Obviously they dominate. So this is over and over again. This is the one principle, ikhlas. And listen, I'm not perfect at it. This is a constant battle. One last thing I want to say is when we are asking for anything in life, we pray, right? One of the preconditions of prayer is also sincerity. This is from a book written by Yasir Qadhi about dua. And one of the preconditions is sincerity. So, you know, when people are in a desperate need, those duas, those prayers get accepted. This is straight from that book. Whether you are a Muslim or non-Muslim, we Muslims believe that get accepted. In fact, I sent a message to one of my best friends. He's agnostic, you know, he's finding his path. I asked him, did you ever pray when you were at rock bottom, right? And he says, yes. And you know what? His prayer got accepted and he did very well financially as well. So ikhlas, it comes back to that. Deal with people with sincerity, with truthfulness, and be fair, be sincere in everything you do. Be fair with yourself, have sincerity with yourself, and everything is just becomes so much easier.